friend? Can you be my lover up until the very end? Let me show you love. I know I pretend. Stick by my side.
Mr. Bingley, how do you like my ribbons for your ball?
Very beautiful.
Do you plan to go to the Netherfield ball then, Mr. Wickham?
Perhaps. How long has Mr. Darcy been a guest there?
About a month. Forgive me, but you quite with him, with Mr. Darcy.
Indeed. I have been connected with his family since infancy. You may well be surprised, Miss Elizabeth, especially given our cold greeting this afternoon.
Well, I hope that your plans in favor of Meryton will not be affected by your relation with the gentleman.
Oh no, it's not for me to be driven away. If he wishes to avoid seeing me, he must go, not I.
I must ask Mr. Wickham, what is the manner of your disapproval of Mr. Darcy?
My father managed his estate. We grew up together, Darcy and I. His father treated me like a second son, loved me like a son. We were both with him the day he died. With his last breath, his father bequeathed me the rectory in his estate. He knew I had my heart set on joining the church. But Darcy ignored his wishes and gave the living to another man.
But why?
Jealousy, his father. Well, he loved me better and Darcy couldn't stand it.
How cruel.
So now, I am a poor foot soldier, too lowly even to be noticed.
One morning, about a week after Bingley's engagement with Jane had been formed, as he and the females of the family were sitting together in the dining room, their attention was suddenly drawn to the window by the sound of a carriage, and they perceived a chaise and four driving off the lawn. It was too early in the morning for visitors, and besides, the equipage did not answer to that of any of their neighbours. The horses were post, and neither the carriage nor the livery of the servant who possessed it was familiar to them. As it was certain, however, that somebody was coming, Bingley instantly prevailed on Miss Bennet to avoid the confinement of such an instruction and walked away with him into the shrubbery. They both set off, and the conjecture of the remaining three continued, though with little satisfaction till the door was thrown open and their visitor entered. It was Lady Catherine de Bourgh. It can be of no loss, Miss Bennet, to understand why I am here.
Indeed, you are mistaken. I cannot account for this hornet at all.
Miss Bennet, I warn you, I am not to be trifled with. Report of a most alarming nature has reached me that you intend to be united with my nephew, Mr. Darcy. I know this to be a scandalous falsehood, though not wishing to injure by him supposing it's possible. I instantly set off to make my sentiment known, if you believe it to be possible.
If you believe it to be impossible, I wonder you took the trouble of coming so far.
To hear it contradicted Miss Bennet.
Your coming will be rather a confirmation. Surely, if indeed a report exists.
Did you then pretend to be ignorant of it? Has it not been industriously circulated by yourself?
I have never heard of it.
And can you declare there's no foundation for it?
I do not pretend to possess equal friendliness. Quick, your lady may ask a question, quick, I may choose not to answer.
This is not to be borne. Has my nephew made you an offer of marriage?
Your ladyship had declared it to be impossible.
Let me be understood. Mr. Darcy is engaged to my daughter. Now, what have you to say?
Only this, if that's the case, you have no reason to suppose he could make an offer to me.
You selfish girl! This union has been planned since their infancy. Do you think it can be prevented by a young woman of inferior birth whose own sister elopement resulted in a scandalously patched-up marriage achieved at the expense of your uncle? Are the shades of Pemberley to be thus polluted? Now tell me once for all, are you engaged to him?
I am not. I will not and I certainly never shall. You have insulted me in every possible way and I can now have nothing further to say. I must ask you to leave immediately. I couldn't sleep.
Nor may I.
Yes, you were here.
How could I ever make a man for such baby?
After what you have done for Lydia and I suspect for Chan, also is it. I who should be making amends.
You must know surely. Mano is what owed for you. You are too generous to travel with me. I believe you spoke with my aunt. Last night and had taught me to hurt, so I'm scared allow myself before. If your feeling are still what they were last April, they be so at one. My affection and wishes have not changed, but one word from you will send me forever. If however your feeling have changed, I would have to tell you. You have bewitched and soul body, and I love you. I never wish to be apart from you from this day.
Well then, your hands are cold.
In the evening, soon after Mr. Bennet withdrew to the library, she saw Mr. Darcy rise also and follow him, and her agitation on seeing it was extreme.
Go to your father, he wants you in the library.
Lizzie, what are you doing? Are you out of your sense to be accepting this man? Haven't you always hated him? Or, in other words, you are determined to have him. He is rich, to be sure, and you may have more fine clothes and fine courage than Jane. But will they make you happy?
Have you any other objection? Then you believe of my indifference. I do like him. I love him. Indeed, he had no improved right. He is perfectly amiable. You do not know what he really is. Then pray do not ban me by speaking of him in such terms.
Lizzie, have given him my consent. He is the kind of man, indeed, to whom I should never dare refuse anything, which he condescends to ask. And now give it to you. You are resolved on having him. But let me advise you to think better of it. I know your disposition, Lizzie. I know that you could be neither happy nor respectable unless you truly esteem your husband, unless you look up to him as a superior. Your lively talents would place you in the greatest danger in an unequal marriage. You could scarcely escape disgrace and misery. My child, you will not have the grief of seeing you unable to respect your partner in life. You know not what you are about.
No, Papa. I realize I was entirely wrong about him. He is not wrong at all.
Well, my dear, I have no more to say. If this be the case, he deserves you. I couldn't have part with you, my Lizzie, to anyone less worthy.
To complete the favorable impression, she then told him what Mr. Darcy had voluntarily done for Lydia. He heard her with astonishment.
This is an evening of wonders, indeed. Darcy did everything, made up the match, gave the money, paid the fellow debts, and got him his commission. So much better. It will save me a world of trouble and economy. Had it been your uncle's doing, I must and would have banned him. But the fallen young lovers carry everything their own way. I shall offer to pay him tomorrow. He will rant and storm about his love for you, and there will be end of matter. If any young men come for Mary or Kitty, send them in, for I am wide at leisure.
Stick by my side even when the world is giving.
One morning, about a week after Bingley's engagement, had been settled and the contractor of the remaining. He continued. The wicked little chase before driving in the lawn was too early in the morning for visitors, and besides, the equipage did not answer to that. Any of their neighbors. Em lại luôn thiệt luôn.